Hey, RC Thornton here, tax professional, and today I wanted to answer one of the most common and one of the best questions I receive from entrepreneurs and business owners who have substantial back taxes. And that question is, RC, what can I realistically expect as a final outcome in trying to resolve my back tax issue with the state or my back tax issue with the IRS? And that's a really good question, because obviously if you want to work with someone maybe to resolve your problem with the IRS, you kind of want to have some idea of what's at the end of the rainbow, right? Now, so for example, does it all just kind of get written off? Like, is there a way to settle for pennies on the dollar? Are you just going to be making payments to them for the rest of your life? What about all those penalties and interest on your account? What about their threats to seize your bank accounts or wages, or contact your business's customers, or forcibly liquidate your assets through foreclosure or other sorts of seizure? So here's the bottom line that everyone needs to understand up front. The type of clients we work with, and probably you if you're watching this video, are all entrepreneurs, most of them who have made decent money in their career. Most business owners that have been around for a while, they're making at least high five figures, maybe six figures, maybe multiple six figures in income. Now that's great, but as you know, the flip side of that is they have a really big problem with the IRS, and they owe a lot of money. Maybe they owe high five figures, six figures, or multiple six figures in back tax debt. So what you need to understand is, when you owe a lot, but on paper from an IRS perspective, you're making a lot, there's no easy button. There's no way to just waltz in there and be like, cool, man, I'm just gonna write it all off for pennies on the dollar. That stuff does not work, except for people that are in the worst of financial situations. We've helped people do it before. It's great when it works, but do not predicate solving your IRS problem on trying to get it all to magically and mysteriously disappear for cheap or for free with no effort. I talk with people all the time. That's what they want. Those people are stuck for years because they're never going to actually find what they're looking for. Or if they do find someone who says that they'll do it, it's usually just some sort of salesman's thing to get you in the front door, and they find out a year later, oh, sorry, it didn't work. So if not that, guys, what do you reasonably need to expect? What I tell all of my clients is that the final objective for resolving any issue with the IRS and any issue with the state is that it needs to be put into a finalized resolution that works for you and it works for the IRS. Now, what I mean by that is basically we negotiate with them and get it to a final point by which some kind of outcome occurs that is truly and workably affordable to you. You can afford to pay whatever that resolution is. It's not just some humongous stretch for you that's not accommodating. But at the same time, it's okay with them. And what that means is if they have a finalized resolution with you, they're not going to try to garnish your bank accounts or seize your assets or liquidate your property. All of these things, which they can and will do if you don't have a finalized resolution with them. Now, what can that look like? Honestly, for entrepreneurs and business owners who owe a lot and they're making some decent money, there's all sorts of different types of options. Typically, it involves having some kind of payment made into them that's acceptable. And then on the back end, what can we maybe do as far as strategies to maybe raise more capital or help you liquidate in a favorable way some of the assets you might have to just be able to pay it down as much as possible. And there's a lot of advanced strategies on the back end you can use to try to manipulate, not in a bad way, but manipulate some of what's owed so that you can pay the absolute least amount possible. There's all sorts of different kinds of advanced tactics and advanced strategies that go into it. And then, as far as penalties, for example, on the account go, that's a big target too. If there's a way we can argue to have the IRS reduce some of the penalties that are on your account, that's a great avenue to take as well. But again, the big thing is, and it's usually just a combination of all of this stuff. It's no one thing like, oh yeah, you're just going to be paying them until you're 95 years old. There's a lot of different components that go into it. So that's what it looks like if you're a business owner and you have a substantial back tax problem. That's what the resolution will look like. Now, how do we get more specific about that? I mean, it's great to just say at a broad level what I've just said, but how do we implement that in your life starting today? Well, the best way to do it, and the first thing you want to do, is go ahead and schedule a time to speak with me personally regarding your IRS issue. There's a link above, below, somewhere around here you can click on. You'll be able to go into my calendaring tool and set up a time to talk with me for 15, 20 minutes. Like I always say, guys, it's not a sales pitch. I don't care about convincing you to do something. It's about a meeting of the minds, and like if it makes sense for us to work together and I can truly help you and I think we'd be a good team to work together, we'll do it. If not, that's cool too. But the bottom line, guys, is I've talked with so many business owners all across the country who owe, you know, a huge amount of money, and we personally help multi-tens of millions of dollars worth of back tax debt get fully and completely resolved with the IRS. So if you're in that situation and you wanted to talk with me, owner and licensed tax professional over here, go ahead and sign up for a time, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.